This is the story of a fisherman named John, who, like every day, takes his small boat and goes out to catch fish in the sea. But something different happens that day. Suddenly, there is a thick fog all around and nothing can be seen in the distance. John gets lost and he sees a deserted boat wandering here and there. Curiously, he ties his boat to that boat and decides to go inside and see. As soon as he goes inside that boat, he wakes up. The whole boat was empty. No one, no sound. Just a mysterious silence. When John went into that mysterious boat, everything seemed normal. The food was fresh, the clothes were kept in the closet, and there were signs of human presence everywhere. But there was no one there. He tries to start the boat, but the engine does not work. John is surprised to see such a large boat alone and empty in the sea. He tries to look around with the binoculars. Maybe someone is nearby, but the thick fog had covered everything. Disappointed, he returns to the control room and turns on the big radio there with the intention of sending a signal for help. John sent a message on the radio. "This boat is stuck in the sea. If anyone is listening, answer." After sending the message, he thought he should go back on his small boat. But when he came out, his boat was not there, although he had tied it well. He was surprised and moved when he saw that the fog had suddenly cleared and the sky was open. Now it was afternoon. John did not understand what was going on. Without seeing any other way to return, he returned to the same empty ship and started looking for a way with the help of the map. John now tries to understand where he is and how he can return home. The problem was that the engine of that mysterious ship was broken. If he had to survive, he had to fix the engine at any cost. He looks for the toolbox in the whole ship and fixes the engine after a lot of hard work. This was a big relief for him. Now the ship had started and he was slowly understanding the direction. But the danger was not over. John goes to the control room and contacts the radio again. But this time too, no answer comes. Everything was still submerged in mystery. Then that boy comes up and he suddenly has to go to the toilet. There was no one around, so he thinks that he will do it in the sea. As soon as he goes to the shore, suddenly someone pushes him from behind. He falls straight into the water. The condition was very dangerous. But somehow he caught the reel and saved himself from drowning. The air and water pressure was so high that it was difficult to come back to the ship. But he did not give up. He gathered his courage and slowly, with the help of the reel, pulled himself back on the ship. In the midst of all this, his work could not be completed, so he started going to the toilet again. As soon as he reached the bottom, suddenly someone closed the door. John first thought it was the effect of the air and did not pay attention. But when he tried to get out, he saw that the door was closed from inside. Now he was surprised. He tried every way to open the door. He even tried to take a coin out of his pocket and put it in the lock and open it. But everything went in vain. Now he felt that he was not alone on this ship. There is someone who is troubling him, who does not appear but is present all the time. He felt as if someone was playing with him. He shouted loudly, "Please, whoever you are, open the door. I am not a thief, I have just come to see." But there was no answer. Now he understood that the hope of help is useless. He went towards the cabin, and what he saw inside, his soul trembled with it. There were bloodstains there. It was a scary atmosphere. But he ignored the fear and tried to open the door with a pickaxe. But the lock did not open yet. Then the whole ship began to shake violently, as if something big was going to happen. John was very scared. Then he saw a window above him. He somehow got out of that window and looked around. A huge cargo ship was seen coming towards him from a distance. Its direction was straight towards that ship. John understood that if that ship collided, everything would be over. Now he had to save his life in any case. He thought of giving a signal, but he had nothing. He immediately took off his shirt and began to wave vigorously, so that someone from the cargo ship could see him. But unfortunately, after so much effort, no one paid attention to him. Now John had to save his life in any case. If his ship kept moving forward, then the cargo ship could collide with the ship and everything could be over. Then he looked at the window, hanged himself, and fell on a rope. He immediately had an idea. If he used this rope, he might be able to stop the ship. He quickly tied the rope and threw it out, so that the speed of the ship would stop. But the situation got worse. The rope got stuck in the fan of the engine, and while pulling, it came inside the bathroom and got stuck in his throat. He began to suffocate. Reaching the verge of death, he showed courage and freed himself from a tool. His neck was completely red. He was almost dead, but he was able to save himself in the last moment. The rope was stuck in the engine, which stopped the ship's speed, but it was not enough. The heavy cargo ship still collided with it. The ship shook badly, and John fell to the ground and fainted. He had a deep head injury. After a while, when he regained consciousness, he saw that the bathroom was filled with water. But the most surprising thing was that it was not the salty water of the sea, but it was absolutely clean and sweet water, as if someone was deliberately trying to scare him. He once again broke down and begged, "Whoever you are, please let me go." But still no answer came. Now he was hungry, thirsty, and very weak. Somehow he drank water from the shower in the bathroom, but soon he felt that the water was over. Then when he started drinking water from the sink, he was surprised. Now the water had become salty. He immediately realized that there was a hole in the ship and the sea water was coming in. This ship will not last long now. He panicked and tried to open the door, but it seemed that someone had locked it from the outside. It was night time, and from above he saw that some invisible, perhaps evil force was controlling the ship. The water was rising rapidly, and John fell asleep tired. At night, there was a terrible storm in the sea, which broke the ship badly, and John was seriously injured. When he woke up in the morning, the water had reached his head. Only the face was outside. Now he felt that only a few moments were left. Then suddenly he heard a light click from somewhere, as if something had opened. As soon as John turned the handle, the door opened with a loud sound. The water pressure was so high that the door broke and fell down, and in the same way he managed to get out. As soon as he got out, he went straight to the roof of the ship so that he could breathe fresh air, because the oxygen below was almost over. Now he was convinced that some invisible force wanted to trouble him in every way. He was physically and mentally broken, and the water was constantly flowing down. He realized that the ship could sink any time now. John had decided that he would not stay on the ship anymore. Then he got an idea. He took out the airbags from the ship and used the broken bathroom door to make a small raft. He tied everything tightly so that the raft could stand. But to run the raft, he needed some more important things. He collected food, water, and necessary tools from the ship and prepared himself completely. Then, without looking back, he got off the ship, got on the raft, and slowly started moving forward in the sea. He was on the raft, and the same big ship was still standing in front of him. Many hours passed, but he could not go too far, nor did the ship sink, which he thought would sink in 5 to 10 minutes. He was still in the same condition. Then an idea came to his mind. If this ship has not sunk yet, then why not repair its raft? If this happens, then it can easily travel on this strong ship. Thinking this, he went back to the ship. First, he repaired the raft, then prepared a pump with pipe and tools so that the water could be taken out. With the help of the pump he had made, the sea water filled and the ship slowly came out. After repairing the raft and removing the water, he also repaired the rest of the ship. He also repaired from the outside so that there would not be any more problems in the journey ahead. After the work was over, He again tried to ask for help from the radio, but this time too, no answer came. Disappointed, he returned and took out the map and once again began to understand the way. He tried to move the ship forward, but as soon as he started the engine, the ship did not move at all, as if it was deceiving him again. The ship was completely still, as if it had become stuck in the water, and this thought was breaking him from inside. He was completely tired, his hopes were fading. Then he saw another ship coming from a distance. Now he had only one way, to reach that ship from his small raft. He immediately climbed on the raft, and quickly moved towards the ship. But then the ship suddenly began to shake and move towards John quickly, as if someone had deliberately sent it towards him. John increased his speed, but the huge ship became even faster. And just before the ship hit him, John made the last attempt and decided to jump from his boat and swim to the other ship, which seemed to be going far away. But by the time he reached there, the ship had disappeared. Then he realized that there was some evil power on this mysterious ship, which was not letting him go anywhere. He had decided that even if he lost his life, he would not return to this ship. But by the evening, the cold began to increase as he swam in the water. Dolphins were swimming below, but the temperature of the water had dropped a lot. Unable to bear the cold, he again returned to the same ship in helplessness. He was so tired and sick that he was not in a state to think. He just quietly flew a blanket and slept in the room. In the morning, when his eyes opened, he again decided to leave the ship. But now he got another shock. The door of the room was closed. He got scared and gradually began to break mentally. He did not understand why all this was happening to him. Then his eyes fell on a small cabin in the room. As soon as he opened it, he saw a way up, a ventilation from which he could get out. He entered the cabin, which was a narrow storage area. Every time he tried to climb up the storage area, he slipped and fell down. He got many injuries from falling, but he did not give up. Falling again and again, he finally reached up again and tried to open the window of the vent. But he did not get out of touch. It seemed as if he had been deliberately sealed. Now the oxygen there was also running out quickly. It was getting difficult to breathe. The door below was also closed. He was not able to go back to the room. He felt that this was his last time. But then he heard the same mysterious click sound again. As soon as the window of the cabin opened with the sound of a click, John came out without wasting time. The fresh air gave him a little relief. He came out and saw that the boat was heading towards a small island. Seeing this, he was hopeful that now he would be free from this scary boat forever. As soon as the boat reached the shore, he immediately got off. He felt that there must be someone on this island who is responsible for all this. In anger, he picked up a stick and started looking for the island. But soon he was surprised. There was no sign of a human being on the entire island. Now John was again filled with anger and fear. As soon as he came out of the island, a new sight came before his eyes. The same mysterious water that had brought him here was now moving forward in the calm sea, as if in search of another prey. Seeing this, John was completely convinced that this boat and this island were under some evil power. He had to get out of here at any cost. His life was still left. He searched and reached the highest peak of the island. And from there he saw another island far away. But he was so far away that he could not see what was happening there. As John kept wandering on the island, he slowly came back. But when he reached there, his eyes were wide open. This was the same place from where his journey had begun. Everything was the same. His old boat was stuck right there. And the same people, as if nothing had changed. The whole atmosphere was the same as before. As if nothing had happened. John was looking at everything. He could not believe that all this seemed like a bad dream. In fact, it had happened to him. But now the question arose. How did his boat get there again? And what was the truth of this island? When John reached behind the island, he was surprised. The same place. The same boat. The same people. As if nothing had changed. He could not believe that all this was real or a bad dream.